had a reporter call me, and she says, Susanna, can you meet me down at the power plant? Because I want to do a story about the whole closing down. We got some shots from midnight, but we want to do some day shots. I said, sure. I met her down here. And we were down here, and the birds were just chirping. I mean, they were like having a big celebration. She says, what's going on? What's these birds just really making a lot of noise? They're really chirping and talking. I said, well, don't you see what happened? And she says, no, what? I said, they were so used to screaming at each other when the power plant was here in order to be heard. Now that the power plant went away, they don't realize they don't have to shout anymore. I said, so that's what happens to the people that have been here too, that compensate for all the noise. And the birds were doing the same thing. Yo soy chicana, tengo sangre de indio y español. Soy la reina de este mundo. Voy a luchar por mi raza. Que viva la raza. That was what we would say. The carnalismo is what we would call it. That means family. That we're family, maybe not blood related, but family as a group of people. Like this, okay. Like this, like this. I remember in the 3rd grade, they was taking up some kind of collection or something, and my teacher told me that I lived in poverty. Of course, that was a pretty big word for me in 3rd grade. So I said, poverty, what does that mean? She says, well, your family is really poor. And I told her, oh, no, my family is not poor. And she says, yes, you live in poverty. I said, oh, no, we're rich. She said, you're rich? I said, oh, yeah, because my mother always says, la familia es la riqueza. The family is the richness, and we got a lot of family. So we're very, very rich. I had 6 brothers and 2 sisters, and everyone around me had big families. So when we played baseball or kicked a can, it was like having a tournament around. It was a lot of fun growing up, but it wasn't until I grew up older that I realized that I was really living in a segregated part of the city, and that not all the city looked the same as my neighborhood. I was one of the children that learned English really quickly, and so my mother would take me, all the different places, and when we'd all go downtown as a family, if she wanted to ask a question or know something, I would be like the translator or the interpreter for her. You saw it right away once you got sort of like into the downtown area and down on Congress, that things were very, very different, and things were paid, and that there were lightings, and then you also got to see how people kind of looked down on people who spoke a second language, or how they treated people because their skin color was different. At that time, there was a lot of police brutality going on in the community. There was a lot of police harassment, Latinos being beat up, Latinos being shot. It was I think, one of the heights of police oppression at that time. The Brown Berets had just began to organize, and then someone said, there's a meeting, would you like to go? It's being held at the Cristo Rey Church. And I said, well, yes, I had already been doing a lot of organizing and community work. Everybody wore uniforms. That made it more militant looking, wearing khaki pants, khaki shirt, and the brown berets. It sort of looked like an army or something. But when you look at the whole issue, it was really a grassroots issue, looking at, how to improve your community and how to improve the quality of life for Latinos. And sometimes I run into my old friends in high school, and they say, I see you in TV, you're still doing that? And like to them, it was like a fad. Like, I can't believe you haven't grown out of that. And I'm going like, it's not something to grow out, it's a belief. It's when you believe in something and you feel a part of it and you feel that need, you're going to continue until there are no injustices. And when we can live in a society like that, well then, yeah, maybe I can just kick back the whole time. But I'm not there yet. So in September of 2007, the city was going to pull the plug on the power plant. It was going to just shut it down completely. So there was a group of community members that were outside. We were actually having a vigil, but at 12 midnight, they were going to pull the plug. And so we were all out there, and actually there was a prayer going on. And right at midnight, when they pulled the plug, there was just one steam, like the power plant took its last breath and it went, and we just saw like one last steam released, and it was like quiet, just absolutely quiet. And we were just so elated, just so happy that the power plant finally was shut down.